This is SportsCenter with Elle Duncan and Kevin Nagandi.
Hey, Kevin, welcome to the week of the NFL that the fans love and the players absolutely despise. Camps are opening, and in Green Bay, there are no signs of breakthrough between the MVP and the Packers. So we're going to tell you what might have Aaron Rodgers showing up.
And Saquon Barkley talked about his health today, what the Giants star said, and why he has a lot more pressure on him, more than you might think. But we start with tonight's headlines at SEC Media Day.
Nashville Predators prospect Luke Prokop became the first active player under NHL contract to come out as gay this morning. The 19-year-old made the announcement in a social media post. It was historic because no NHL player, active or retired, has come out publicly to this point. Our Emily Kaplan got the first on-camera interview with Prokop to discuss the emotions involved in his decision to come out publicly. Prokop said that his decision was made independently of Raiders defensive end Carl Nassib's announcement in June. That's when Nassib became the first active NFL player to come out as gay. Prokop did, however, acknowledge that Nassib's words and reaction from around the world were inspiring. You'll see the full interview coming up next hour on SportsCenter. Plus, check out Emily's full story over on ESPN.com right now, Kev.
The SportsCenter big show ahead as we get you ready for Game 6 of the NBA Finals and what a win would mean for Giannis's legacy if the Bucks close things out tonight.
Speaking about legacy, Tom Brady, the man at the mic in his return to the White House for the first time in more than 15 years. But first, a major development in the Aaron Rodgers saga. That leads off our headlines. As we say hello to PTI's Michael Wilbon, who's going to be joining SportsCenter with Stephen A at 7:30 here on ESPN. So thanks for taking a little time with us right now. I do want to ask you this because it's a very unsexy topic, but if there's one source of criticism for the Bucks that has sort of been withstanding, it is that of their coach, Coach Budenholzer, right? People have called him everything from bullish, talked about his inability to adjust, his rigidity. But his team has responded time and time again, and now, Mike, they are a win away from a championship. How much credit does Coach Bud deserve?
Oh, that's a great question, Elle.
And to the Suns' point, they're going to have to win 2 straight to make this happen. How do they stay alive and make this a series?
Well, they got to have more than just,
Talking about the narrative around the Suns being their inexperience, they have yet to find themselves facing elimination in this playoff run. In fact, they've only been down at one time in a series, and that was early on to the Lakers. We'll see what they do with their backs against them all. Michael Wilbon's actually not going anywhere. He's going to be, of course, on with Stephen A., but also coming back here to look ahead to tonight. The question is always asked when something is happening to a marginalized community for the first time. That question is, should we be celebrating that? And I don't know. I think the answer is yes. So MLB is going to assemble for the very first time an all-female broadcasting crew to call the Orioles-Rays game tonight. It's a novelty for now, but a path to normalcy eventually. Michelle Steele has more in tonight's SportsCenter report. Good evening. We have ourselves a champion. They're still cleaning up ticker tape at Fiserv Forum, and we already want to know from PTI, can they get more, right? We're going to talk a little dynasty just ahead after getting their very first championship in 50 years last night.
And you know what, Elle? If there's no crying in football, Jerry Jones did not get that message today as Cowboys open training camp. But first, we got a lot more from the NFL as we start off today's headlines.
Welcome into SportsCenter. I think it's officially football season, right?
Oh, yeah.
Considering that we actually have 2 first NFL training camp practices to take a look at today after taking place. And what we saw in Pittsburgh, that there is a lot less of Big Ben.
Hey, you're looking out. Okay, where else is he?
Yeah.
Right? Also, stay with us here at the bottom of the hour, 6:30 Eastern Time. The exclusive reveal of the 2021-22 NHL schedule with hockey set to return to ESPN in almost 2 decades. But first, tonight's headlines, and we start with what Elle talked about.
Ryan, Hall of Fame college football coach Bobby Bowden announced that he has a terminal medical condition. The 91-year-old coached Florida State for 34 years, winning national titles in 1993 and 1999, and then retiring in 2009. Seminoles athletic director David Coburn called Bowden, quote, part of the heart and soul of FSU. All right, I know that anything is possible is in reference to a different NBA title celebration than the one we saw last night, but doesn't that same sentiment ring true for Giannis? Because his parents were Nigerian immigrants, he was denied citizenship in Greece despite being born there, which meant no access to health care or sports leagues. How strange that the Greek freak only became a Greek citizen 6 years ago when, coincidentally, he was headed to New York City for the NBA draft. How ironic that he is the pride of a country that for most of his life didn't even claim him. Michelle Steele has more on the native son in our SportsCenter report. Ryan, we're about to get out of the way. Game 3 of a 4-game set between the Cubs and Cardinals is next. All right, working with you.
See what happens. We'll see you.
Checking out the new